Hi, so today I'm going to talk about how do we reframe a negative mindset. And I think this is really important because our mindset determines how we get on in life. It determines the things that we decide to do. It determines our choices. And if we have a mindset that's holding us back, I kind of view it like a roadblock. Like you're driving a car, you come up to a roadblock and you cannot go any further. And that's what a negative mindset is, because it stops us from exploring our potential. It stops us from being the best that we could be, just because we're thinking and feeling about ourselves in a certain way. So before I dive into some examples of how you can reframe your mindset, I want to explain what a negative mindset is. Now, when we talk about mindset, there are two terms that are used more broadly, which is a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is a mindset, a person that has a mindset that they cannot learn anything new, that their talents and their abilities are prefixed from birth. Like, I cannot gain any new talents, I cannot become better at something. Whereas someone with a growth mindset is always open to learning, they're always open to change. They're always, if something comes up, if a challenge comes up, they don't think this is it, it's over. They think, how can I overcome this? So in general, when I say a negative mindset, I'm talking about a fixed mindset. And when I say a growth mindset, I'm talking about a positive mindset, right? And we use those terms broadly, because obviously having a fixed mindset doesn't mean you're completely negative. But what we mean is that having a fixed mindset can have a negative influence in your life. And the other thing is true of the positive mindset and the growth mindset combination as well. And what is interesting is that nobody really falls into either one completely. Most people fall into a mixture of the two. So what we want is to have more of a positive growth mindset and less of a fixed negative mindset. So let's talk about how someone with a negative mindset thinks. Someone with a negative mindset, when they come against criticism, for example, they view it personally. Instead of thinking, is there any truth in what this person is saying to me? Is there anything I can learn from this experience? They immediately go on the defensive. A person with a negative mindset, if they come against something they don't know how to do, they're like, I can't do it. I don't know how to do this. There's no way I'm going to learn it. A person with a negative mindset is also that person that might say something like, I'm too old to learn something new. We all know people like this who refuse to learn technology, refuse to know how to, make things work, because they're like, I can't learn this. This is too much for me. I'm too old. I can't learn how to use this technology stuff. We know people like that, right? So that's a fixed mindset, because you're saying to yourself, it's too late for you to learn something new. Someone with a fixed mindset or negative mindset will also say things like, it's too late for me. So again, that may be related to age, it may just be related to their timing. Like, I don't have time now to start trying to do this. Whereas someone with a positive mindset is not going to have those kind of thoughts. And also the thing about people with a negative mindset is that when they fail, it's like, phew, it's over. I failed. This is the end, literally. So failure to them, they view it with so much hostility and fear. So that's why you find a lot of people with a negative mindset are reluctant to do new things, because they don't want to fail. And this ties in with their reluctance to learn new things. Whereas someone with a positive mindset or a growth mindset is open to learning, is open to new challenges, never thinks that they're too old or it's too late. They're open. Let me try. Let me see what I can learn. And when someone with a positive mindset comes up against a difficulty, a challenge, instead of saying, it's over, this is how it's always been done, it can't be done, let's leave it, they will say, let me look at whether there's a different way of doing this thing. So not just accepting, oh, this is the way this was always done, and since it's not working, it's, that's it, it's over. You're open to accepting that there might be another way of doing things. The main, I guess, one of the most important parts of the negative mindset and the positive mindset and reframing, why it's so important, is that it's the overcoming of difficulties. Because we're all going to face challenges in our lives. There's nobody that's going to go through life without coming across a challenge, a hurdle, tough times. And the main difference between a negative mindset and a positive mindset, or fixed mindset and a growth mindset, is that negative person goes, this is never going to work for me. This is not good for me. My life is over. It's kind of a hands up. It's over. There's nothing I can do. Whereas a person with a positive mindset will always say, fine, this is a challenge. It doesn't mean they're not going to struggle or it's not going to be hard, but they don't immediately take that idea that it's over. They say, how will I overcome this? What can I do? How can I make this better? What are my options? Where can I get information? And so on. And, not believing that their failures define them. That's very important. Whereas someone with a fixed mindset, because they're already believing that they're not capable, that's why failure to them is a big deal, because they feel like their failures is going to define them. And when they come across new things and they struggle with that new thing, if they try to do something new and they're not good at it, it's over. I'm not good at this. I'm never going to be good at this. You hear people say things like, oh, I can never do that. Oh, I wish I could do that. That is an element of a negative mindset, of a fixed mindset, where you're looking at other people and saying, oh, they're so lucky they can do this. Oh, she's very bright, she can do that. None of us are unable to learn at any age. We are able to learn whenever we want to. And that's the thing you have to remember. And, our talents and our abilities are not prefixed. Of course, there are people that are born with an amazing ability to do something, like an artist or an engineer or, whatever. But we can learn anything. And if you believe that, then, you're opening the way. As I said at the beginning, it's that roadblock is gone. Because if you believe in yourself that there is nothing I cannot do, if I put my mind to it, then the roadblock is gone. It's up to you to then decide, how am I going to live this life? So if you want to reframe a negative mindset, one of the things I think is very important is that having a negative mindset is not just what we think about ourselves, it's also what we say. It's the words we use. So I'm going to give you some examples of words you shouldn't use, and instead you can say other things. So instead of saying I could or I should, which is very much, I could do that, but I should do it, but you almost know a but is coming after one of those words. Say I will and I can. The other thing that people with a fixed mindset use often is, it's always been done that way. Let's not change it. This is the way it is. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Blah blah blah. Those kind of sentences. But if you want to approach it a different way and reframe that, we can say, let's try a different way and see if it works. The other thing is, stop saying I can't. I cannot do that. I wish I could, but I can't. As I say to my kids, you cannot know if you cannot do something until you have tried and failed. So when people say I can't and they haven't even done it, that's a completely, negative mindset. We don't want that, because that stops you from exploring what you're capable of. So instead of saying I can't, say I can learn how to, or I will learn how to. Of course, it's up to you whether you want to learn how to do something or not. But don't just say I can't without even trying. The other thing which I mentioned during the video is saying I'm too old. It's too late for me. I'm never too old, and it's never too late. And the last thing that I want you to think about is how we approach failure. Instead of saying I have failed, it's over, or I'm a failure, which is very common, we then ascribe the failure onto ourselves and we let that define us. Instead of saying that, say to yourself, if I fail, I will learn from it. Or I didn't get it right this time. What lessons can I learn? And I can take those lessons into the next project that I'm doing, or into the next try. So don't look at failure as the end. Look at failure as a learning process. Every successful person in the world has failed at some point or the other. So there's nothing new. And in fact, failure is an integral part of success. So I hope this helps you to reframe your negative mindset. Take care.